I just think he was a wacky guy. It's too bad he's not around anymore.
We hear you have a Christmas tree in there. We just want to talk.
Very funny, very friendly, you know, very humorous. Oh, he was just Bob.
He's a real loss. He teased my eyes just thinking about it.
He was and is, without exception, the most popular television personality to ever work in Maine. After a 5-year stint with NBC Network, he blew back into Portland in 1987 and commenced immediately to charm us all, and we loved him for it.
Right in the darn water.
He was, if you'd ever met him, bigger than life, and boy, did he know how to live. He and his wife owned a boat and a beautiful beachfront home. Dined out on the town more often than not. But he was still a man of the people, a regular guy, who had a way of shining light on regular things and brought into focus the complexities of daily living, and he did it with humor, often poking fun at himself.
It's gonna be terrible if I ever have to retire because I don't collect stamps or rocks or anything. I mean, it's just dull.
I remember hearing a siren go by, and I always panic every time I hear a siren. And of course I don't anymore because I figured the worst thing that happened in my life has already happened.
Bob Elliot died of a heart attack at Fort Williams Park on July 30th. He was biking and apparently sat down at this picnic area. According to the police report, a stranger discovered Bob's body, grabbed a bicycle, found his cell phone, and called for help. The stranger then returned to Bob's body and started CPR without any luck. The ambulance came, and not long after, Bob was pronounced dead of a heart attack.
People I know.
His wife, Jennifer Lawson, was waiting for him to return home after his bike ride. That's when the police arrived and took her to the hospital.
I didn't think that something like this could happen. I mean, this is the last thing that I ever thought could happen.
For many of us, Bob's heart condition came as a shock, but his family was very aware. At about age 1, Bob was diagnosed with aortic stenosis, a narrowing of the aortic valve in the heart. In the early years, he was cautioned to take it easy, but his family members tell us as Bob entered his teens and early 20s, the condition seemed to lessen. While working for NBC, he developed a secondary condition, a heart arrhythmia, for which he took daily medication. Yet he played sports, made his way to the top of an extremely stressful profession, and played hard. While at Channel 8, he scaled the new Casco Bay Bridge, an entire mile.
Not sure why I'm doing this. Do anything. Don't look down. Don't look down.
Jumped around in a parachute.
I'm coming down. Okay, watch this landing. And another jump. Hey!
And scaled the side of steep cliffs.
I love it. I love this stuff.
After Bob's death, some lingering questions. One in particular I felt his wife might be able to answer. Should Bob have been working and playing so hard?
Did he live with a sense of his own mortality? Was he cheating fate every time he did that, or did he just not think about it?
You know, it wasn't until he died that I thought that he was living that way. I mean, he didn't smoke, and he didn't do anything that you would sort of think that would provoke a heart attack.
No, this isn't a scene from Twister or the site of a bomb blast. This is my kitchen, or at least what's left of it. You see, my wife decided it was time to remodel.
He lived and read and wrote stories, the best. And his own story reads like a novel, one he'd like. After all, he wrote it. With every chapter, another installment of a dream life. Bob, the protagonist, never settling for the average or mundane.
Our ancestors apparently liked to have a lot of small rooms that you could close up. We like wide open spaces.
Early on, things just seemed to happen to Bobby Elliot. At age 10, he was a hero. While visiting his grandparents, he saved a drowning 3-year-old. His mother kept the press clippings. His brother Chuck remembers him as shy until he came into his own sometime in high school. More and more, he became like his father, who was his best friend, mentor, and idol. He died 2 years ago. Bob's mother passed away more than 10 years ago. For Chuck, Bob's younger brother, a void.
I remember Bob and I had a conversation. We were sitting having a beer, maybe back last spring, you know. And Bob looked at me and he said, you know, we're the only ones that still remember some things, you know. And, I got no one to share that with anymore. And so I just, you know, hey, so I've got to tell stories now.
I mean, I learned to drive a car coming in on this old dump road. And
for 10 years, he was ours. You felt like you knew him, didn't you? For as gentle and kind as he could be, there was a side of Bob that was driven, intense, no nonsense, serious about being funny.
I like your rig here.
Well, I like it too.
How do you feel about the clear cutting issue?
What was that again?
The clear cutting.
Took incredible pride in his work, and he worked very hard, and he wrote a lot.
I got a feeling my wife is just going to love this.
Most comedians would say that you know, comedy really is, I mean, it's serious because it's their work. So, I mean, there were times when you have sleepless nights thinking about the story the next day.
I'm going to leave it in your hands. I'm not going to, once again, I'm not asking for miracles, but just please.
We need more people like Bob Elliot, don't you think?
Woo! Woo-hoo-hoo!
He lived every minute of every day and challenged us all to live as he did, each day without fear, with humor, and to write the stories of our own lives, full of success, romance, good times, and long, full summer days.
Bob Elliot, Channel 8 News.